Hi there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading. This is Yetta Pearl, and this is your reading for 2022 for the year ahead. And so we're going to do this in quarters, so January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, and September. And so we're just getting out the January, February, March cards. And so the Animal Spirit Guides deck has wanted to come forward, so that's what we'll be using to start with. And so there we go. There's the last of the cards for there. So, for January, February, March, they want you to realize that you will have so much abundance. It's amazing. It just feels very uplifting, very prosperous, feels easy. It's exciting sort of, but it's more relief and easy and that kind of stuff. Just like things will flow, especially when it's when you've had a certain level of abundance, and then part of you're feeling a bit of lack and whatever. You're feeling like, oh, if I had more money, I would buy this other thing and I would get that and I would do this and do that. And then you do get a higher level of abundance. And for a little while, then it's very much of a relief and, okay, now I can do those things and whatever. But pretty soon, you're still striving for more. And so then almost accidentally, you start to feel lack again. And so what your angels want you to keep in mind is that the more joyful you feel about the abundance, the easier and quicker more of it will come to you. Right? Okay. So truly you are very abundant. It may not be, cash. It may be friendships. It may be time. It may be joy. It may be play. All that other stuff that you will be very abundant in, and they want you to always remember that, to keep it in mind. Okay, all right. And focus. Choose your priorities and eliminate all distractions. Focus on what you want. So there's something that this is not new. This is not just new for 2022. This is something that's been part of you for quite some time already, that you sit there and you wish you could have that, or you wish you could do that, or something like that. But you haven't actually done anything to get there. So now's the time. Now's the time to put your focus on that. Start taking some steps. Take some advice from people on how to do that. Things like that. What you focus on is where the energy goes. And where the energy goes, that's what is created. So if you're focusing on, oh, that's too much, I can't do all that at once, well, then you can't, right? If you focus on, yeah, that's a lot to do, but hey, look at me go. I am super Taurus, right? You can do it. And it won't be as hard as you think. It won't be as hard as you think. So put your focus there on what you want. And yeah, you'll keep in mind your timeline, I guess, but don't let it limit you. You can go ahead of your timeline. You can do things before you planned to. Okay, and you'll be able to do that because of your focus upon it, which will bring it to you quicker. All right. And, illusion. There's something you've been, there's something you've been kind of lying to yourself about, and therefore lying to everyone around you about. It's about you, it's about maybe what you want or how you want to accomplish something. You've created an illusion, and you yourself are being fooled by the illusion. So during January, February, March, it's going to happen that you will become aware of how you've been fooling yourself, and And like this is, there's nothing to do really. There's nothing to prepare for this. There's no way to do it faster or whatever, because you don't know until you know, right? So this is something that just to watch for, to realize that, oh yeah, I've been, I keep saying that I'm like this or like that. It's just not true. Huh? Who knew, right? And perhaps people around you knew that, but you didn't. It's all okay. And when you know it, then the awareness is the key, right? Then if you don't like that or you want to switch something up, then you can. Then you have choices, right? And so so don't stress over this. It's something, it will be revealed when the time is right for you. And it's just kind of a heads up. It's nothing to do. It's just when it comes, it'll come. Okay. All right. So that's pretty cool messages for you for January, February, March of 2022. So now we have the goddess cards, and they have come forward wanting to give you your messages for April, May, and June of 2022. And so we'll just see what all those messages are. And so, because I'm drawing 3 cards and it is 3 months, they're not necessarily just in that order. Like the first one is not necessarily for only April. It's kind of a general message for the 3 months, right? So all of them will apply to all the months. Okay. All right. So one more card to come out, and there it is. Okay. Oh, this is beautiful for spring for you. Unconditional love. So this is, you're receiving this as well as learning how to give it better. That's really cool. There's some, it feels like this is kind of tied into this illusion card. This is, I think, maybe part of what you're becoming aware of the people who do absolutely love you unconditionally. And it's a little bit of a surprise to you because you always thought there were conditions. The reason you always thought there were conditions is because you sometimes have conditions, right? And there's maybe stuff in your past too that you thought taught you that there were conditions from that person, and it may have actually been true at the time, but that person has grown and has learned a lot more, and now can actually offer you the unconditional part. So as you become aware of that, and as you learn how it feels on the inside of you to be on the receiving end of that amazing love, now you're learning how to give that as well. And in fact, you've known for quite a while. Just there's something new about that. It's like it goes deeper with you. Like everything that we learn as individuals, that we grow, we do our inner growth, all that kind of stuff, and we think, okay, wow, I sure went deep with that learning this time. And then, at some point in the future, then you're going to learn more and you're going to go even deeper. And it continues and it continues, and you'll revisit that same subject several times. And every time you'll go deeper. So this is like one of those cycles. Yeah. And that unconditional love, it gives you permission to totally be yourself. You are you, and you are loved, and you are totally lovable, and so there's no need to try and change yourself or be someone you're not. You just are you, and you are so loved. Okay? All right. So this is all kind of part of this inner goddess. Now, this is not gender specific. This is for men as well. This is your inner self. This is awakening the inner self within you through dance, self-care, and appreciating your own divinity. And so that's what that unconditional love is. Appreciating your own self as well, and understanding that no matter what you do, there are people and your angels who absolutely love you. And so when you truly come to that realization, then your inner goddess, inner self can really shine. Because it's even those of you who feel like, oh no, I do my own thing, who gives a shit what anybody else thinks? Yeah, you're mostly like that, or in a lot of ways you're like that, but most people are not fully like that. But this is getting you closer to that. And so understanding your inner self and loving your inner self, with all your little wee faults. This is how we talk about it in human language. Angels don't acknowledge faults. They don't see them. They don't understand what faults are or mistakes or anything like that. But so in human language, even when you understand that you have little things that, probably you could do better, you still can accept yourself and feel good about yourself all the time. That's what this is. And this is beautiful growth for you. It's amazing. It's a continuation of what you've already been doing. So that's wonderful. And it'll be spring. Go outside. By the time spring comes, even when, some of you do spend time outside all winter and thoroughly enjoy that, and you're doing things all the time and whatever. But by spring, it feels different, doesn't it? You don't have to have all that heavy clothing. And, obviously I'm talking about, like, I'm Canadian, I'm talking about winter, right? And so not everybody experiences that. But even when, maybe you're in a much more mild climate than we have here, even then there's something about, April, May, June, that is spring. That is the new growth. That's the bursting forth of the new stuff. It's a time for fresh starts and the fresh air and the birds and, all that amazing stuff. Oh, and it just feels so fresh. And it's time to get out there and get the cobwebs blown out from winter and start new. Yes, beautiful time. Absolutely beautiful time. Okay, so that was April, May, June of 2022. And now we have July, August, and September of 2022. So these are what are these? Can't remember what they're called. Sorry, it'll come to me later because I know this. Anyway, we've got these ones. In case anybody knows the name of those, you can post it down below. That would be very much appreciated. Okay, so we have one more card to come out. There it is. Okay, so it's time to trust. This feels like your gut instincts. Something about that you've been kind of following somebody else, it feels like, for a while, on this particular subject anyway. And you've been taking their word for it. And now it's time, because you're understanding that your inner knowledge of this, your intuition, is just as good as anybody else's. And for when it applies directly to you, it's probably more accurate for you. So learning how to trust that you know just as well or better than somebody else for you is a big thing. It's like when we combine it with this next card, which is authority, then we understand more about the story. It's like there's somebody who's trying to force you into something, somebody trying to push you, trying to get you to do something their way. And you're like, oh man, that would be such a big mistake. And in the past, you've just gone, okay, whatever, you're the boss, that's what I'll do, right? It's time to be more clear. It's time to communicate more and say, indigo, it's the indigo cards. And that's what indigos are about, is about teaching the new world way to those around you. And so this authority figure or figures, they're doing what they've always done, or they're doing what somebody else higher up even has told them to do. But you're the one who knows that's just not going to work. Now, it feels like there's nothing new about this situation. It feels like this has happened multiple times already. But here's your opportunity to step forward and say, you know, I believe that there are better ways to do that. The reason I believe that is this and this and this. And, you know, I would really appreciate some cooperation here to get this done this better way. However you want to say that, right? Like, you know, however it comes out, try and just be calm about that, because that's how it gets through better. But you can trust yourself, and you will be able to teach those people that they can trust you as well. Because what you're suggesting will make sense. And they will understand. They may not be able to go forward for other reasons, but still, it's an opportunity to open up the communication. And so do that. Do that. Now, if in all that you end up kind of losing your cool, right? You will have to apologize. Yes, you will. You're not always right. You are very wise. You are very far-seeing, you know, as an individual, but you're not always right. You generally know what's going to work and whatever, but there's times that you don't know, or there's times when what you do, somebody else takes on what you think. You know, it's not always you following, right? There's followers of you. And if it doesn't work out for them, what you've advised, you should apologize. You know, there will be an occasion near the second, so into the second half of the year. We're July, August, September here, right? So there will be at least one occasion where that you will have to make an apology, and it is going to be really necessary. And you're going to understand that it's necessary, and you will offer it, but you won't want to, because that's hard for you to acknowledge that, oh man, you messed up, right? And so if you don't want to have to apologize, then you will need to be aware before this of that tendency in you, right? It's a little bit, some people see it as an arrogance or something like that. From your point of view, it's not that. It's just that you do know what you're talking about usually, right? In this instance, it's going to be something that kind of catches you unaware, and so you won't really know. It's time for you to be able to step back and say, instead of later apologizing, in the beginning to say, I'm not sure, right? When you're not sure, please say that. When you don't quite know, acknowledge that. Okay, all right, that's what your third quarter of the year appears to be. And now we have our October, November, December cards, and we'll just see. Oh, no, that's not it. We'll just see what guidance wants to come forth for you for October, November, December of 2022. Okay, one more card. Hang on. There we go. Okay, and here we have this trust card again. So it feels more like proving that they can trust you, how trustworthy you are. And so this is really standing firm in your integrity. This is you walking your talk. Like like be very mindful of that, because if you talk out your hat and then go do something else, it's going to be noticed. And it feels like this is kind of a continuation of the last quarter, where you got to learn how to apologize when you mess up, right? At the same time, you need to learn fully how to be trustworthy, right? Apologizing when you mess up is part of that. You can't always avoid messing up. You can't always avoid messing up. You are human. Thank you. Like, this is amazing. Human is a beautiful condition to be. As humans, sometimes we do things that are out of line, right? So you'll just need to apologize. And that will help people trust you more. It will help you trust you more as well. Okay. All right. Now, do you do yoga? This is kind of along the same lines as meditation, right? So self-care in general will be something that you will really need to dig into in the last part of the year, October, November, December, because you'll need it. It feels like you're kind of worn out by now, and that occasion where you had to apologize, things like that, it's got you kind of feeling down, and like you don't like screwing up at all. It's this horrible feeling of, oh my God, what have I done? And it doesn't feel good at all. Once you do fully acknowledge what you've done and all that kind of stuff, how it could have been different, how you would have preferred to be, well, and then you offer your apology, that really helps a lot. But you need to keep the learning from that, and to be able to keep that, it's important to do self-care. Look after your own mental health. Make sure that you are learning what you need to be learning instead of sweeping it all under the rug, right? It's a bit tempting to do that instead of acknowledging our faults and weaknesses, but it's to your benefit to totally plunge into that. Okay, all right. And in that, you will find a teacher. All, like, the lessons coming from all of that will be astounding. They will be astounding. And, it's never fun to be like schooled, right? But in the end, you will appreciate it. It'll take a little bit to get there, but that's that inner learning that you'll do. It's a good thing. It's a good time for you. Excuse me. And so, it won't take you very long to understand that, okay, this was a necessary thing. So, the general feeling, I'm talking a lot about it, but only because you have resistance to it at first. The sooner you can lose your resistance to learning your lessons, the quicker you'll learn it, and you'll be able to just go past it, and it'll become a part of you. And you've done this before. There's nothing new here. You are really good at this when you actually acknowledge the lesson. And so you will appreciate it. The general energy of this is very positive. The general energy is very positive. Okay. And it does lead to a whole lot more of that trust. And that is something very important to you. Okay, so let's do, with the daily guidance cards, let's do a kind of a general overview of the whole year. Okay, it says innocence. Innocence. Everyone is guiltless in truth, as no one can alter the handiwork of perfection. Give us your feelings of heaviness so we can lighten your load. Good. Give us any guilt, anger, or blame that may shroud your loving outlook. Enjoy the peace within your heart once more. So all that, like it is part of this, you're going to, throughout the course of this year, you are going to come to terms with your own humanness, Where up until now you've been really congratulating yourself a lot on how good you are at everything, and that is still true. That'll still be happening. But on your inner self, you will understand that you make mistakes too, and that will help you be less judgmental of yourself and others. It's going to be a really great year for you for that. Okay. It's beautiful. Taurus, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you very much. And I love you. And have a great year.